Hey there, and welcome to another video by your favorite YouTuber. Yeah. Anyhow, let's just get to the point. In today's episode, we'll be talking about steganography, specifically least significant bit steganography. And if that sounds like a pile of gibberish, well, that's because it is a pile of gibberish, but I'll do my best to explain it to you, and we'll even get to put it to use in some Reddit memes. Wow, so exciting, I know. Nevertheless, if you're looking for a detailed and technical explanation on image steganography, I would actually recommend you check out Computerphile's video on it, which is where I kindly borrowed inspiration for this video from. But if you'd rather have a 15-year-old teenage kid explain it to you, then welcome aboard, because we're going on an adventure. Alrighty, our journey begins in the land of steganography, specifically in a small village town called What the Fuck Even is Steganography? And I'm so glad you asked, because as defined by Wikipedia, steganography is the practice of concealing a file within another file, which basically means just like cryptography, it's another way of making sure a message is only seen by the sender and the receiver without any other person seeing it. But then how does it differ from cryptography? Well, you see, cryptography's main focus is, well, to encrypt the message so that even if somebody knows that the message has been sent, they cannot read that message. However, steganography focuses on hiding the fact that the message was even sent at all. So a good example of that, which I kindly borrowed from Computerphile's video, would be writing a message with invisible ink. So let's say you wrote a normal letter to someone with a normal pen, and it just says, "Hello, how are you doing?" However, in the middle of the lines, you wrote another message with invisible ink. And even if some third party would see that letter, they would not know that there is a message in between of the lines there. Great, now that you have been educated on what steganography actually is, let's take a closer look at a smaller subset of it, specifically image steganography, and even more specifically, the most common type of image steganography, least significant bit steganography. So, as we defined previously, image steganography would be the idea of hiding / concealing some data in an image. And that could be a text file or even another image, and pretty much any data. But then, how do you even do that? Well, let's just say you have a grayscale PNG image. And what that would mean is that each pixel would have a value assigned to it from 0 to 255, 0 being black and 255 being white, and everything in between being like gray. So what we would do for least significant bit steganography is first of all convert our message, which is the data we're trying to hide, to binary. And once we're done with that, we would go through each pixel of that image we're trying to hide the data in, check its binary value, and look specifically at the least significant bit, aka the rightmost bit in normal convention. So then we would take the value of that bit and either change it or leave it unchanged based on the message. And now that we did that for all the pixels, 1/8 of our image contains the message data. This also means that the image is slightly modified from the original, but that is imperceptible to the human eye and kinda complex to tell with a machine unless you have the original image. So now that we've gone through the basics, imagine how much more there is to it, since a typical image contains red, green, and blue channels, as well as it might contain an alpha or transparency channel. So that's 3 times as much the data you could put, and you could also change not only the least significant bit, but the 2 least significant bits if you're really trying to put as much data in there as possible. On the opposite hand side, however, you can change the value of only each 5th pixel, which would mean that you have 5 times less data, but it's also less evident. Okay, I hope that gave you a general idea of how this whole thing works, and I do recommend that if you're genuinely interested in the topic, that you should look into it. There's plenty of good resources online and yada yada, you know the thing. But without further ado, let's just get to the part where I actually make the app and use it for Reddit, because boy was it a pain in the ass to make. So I set out not really knowing much about anything actually. NumPy, image processing, GitHub. I didn't really have any experience with all of that stuff, but I do have a major in Googling, so I was off to a good and easy start until that was supposed to be readable. But that's fine. Some more Googling and some more debugging, and I was on my way to adding support for injecting image data rather than just text data. But then again, and a couple more times. And I'm not gonna lie, at this point I'm getting a little bit fed up of all of that. I mean, I have like schoolwork to do, and it's been like a week and a half. I gotta edit the video for my one subscriber, which is just me on my other account. But anyways, I gotta start making some progress, so I man up and I add more time, more tea, more Stack Overflow, a system I like to call titties. Such a bad joke. Anyhow, with a little bit of effort, I managed to make my spaghetti code into something at least usable, so now it's just time for the testing. And that's when I realize, what do I even post? I mean, seriously, I've been lurking on Reddit for like a year, maybe more than that, but I've never really posted anything to any subreddit, so I never really understood how actually difficult it was to make memes until I was sat there in Photoshop trying to make memes. Thankfully, however, over a couple years of using a phone, I have accumulated some pretty cool and funny haha pictures, so I decided to just use those. So I took them, ran them through my Python program, and carefully devised an operation codenamed Reddit. So now it's just time to post them, right? Wrong. Turns out apparently 50% of all the subreddits I know require you to have like a certain karma level and some other stuff, and it's such a pain in the ass, honestly. And because I haven't been posting anywhere, I obviously don't have all those requirements. But that's fine. I decided I'll just go with the subreddits that allow me to post there. So I revised my plan and I filtered out the subreddits I couldn't post to, and there it is. I made my first submission. Then I just decided to take that image from the post, save it, and test that the message is indeed recoverable, which of course it wasn't. Okay, what the hell is going on here? Upon further inspection, it turns out that Reddit actually converts and compresses images posted to a format known as WebP, which is completely logical. Almost any website nowadays does that, so that the image files don't take up that much space on the servers. But the main point is that the compression is lossy, meaning that the image that the other users of that subreddit see is not an exact identical copy of the one I posted. So that's a problem. Luckily, however, under certain dimensions and a certain file size, Reddit does not bother converting the image to WebP and just keeps it as PNG. So now I had to take all those images and resize them to below 1 megabyte of data. And honestly, I hope this does not sound like an easy task, because it wasn't. It was a tedious cycle of scaling, cropping, checking whether the file will be converted to WebP or not on Reddit, and then doing that all again for each of the 12 files I plan to post. But that's fine. More tea, more time, more scaling. And I was finally done with all of that stuff. Now it's just about dragging the image files into the web page and clicking the post button. And so I did. Spread over 10 subreddits, I carefully planted an image, each with a unique message. Now, none of the posts really blew up in a sense, but one of the posts did receive over 100 upvotes, which is actually the first ever post of mine to reach 100 upvotes, so that's pretty cool. And also, I think it's safe to assume that at least a few hundred and probably even 1,000 to 2,000 people have unsuspectedly glanced at those images, not even realizing in the slightest way possible what is hidden in their binary data. So yeah, that's something to think about, definitely. And I've also wondered if that has ever been done before and we just haven't noticed. Like, just imagine how easy it would be to do without anyone else noticing. But yeah, before we get to the part where I reveal more statistics and more detailed results, as well as which messages I hid inside the images I posted, quick disclaimer, I will not actually show all the messages that I've hidden, because I thought some of you might be interested in figuring them out on your own. So a link to my Reddit profile and a link to the tool that I created, or the Python program. I shouldn't really call it tool because it's pretty bad, but if you can figure it out how to use it, go ahead, you can find which messages I've hidden in there. Alright, so here are the top 3 most upvoted posts and the secret messages hidden within them. So coming up at number 1, we have lunch cleaning. And this is actually a picture from I think I'd say 7th or 8th grade from my school lunchroom. And this is the amount of food I picked up from the floor while cleaning. And the picture I posted it to mildly infuriating. I got about 120 upvotes, so pretty cool. And the message hidden within it was a picture of Lena, a very popular image for just general image processing, testing, and stuff like that. So that's why I decided to include it. Editing it to here, just to clarify, there is approximately 1 1/4 of the Lena image that actually fit as a secret message. That's because I set it to overlap, so basically if there is still free space to put the data from the secret message into the original image, it will just keep going from the start, so loop over. So yeah, hope that makes sense. Then we have number 1. This is the ultimate gaming chair picture. This is a pretty funny one, because the backstory behind it is that I was building the chair I'm actually sitting in right now, but I didn't follow the directions on the packaging or whatever, on the instructions, and basically I got the chair with the back the wrong way around. I did fix it though, so I'm not sitting on that, but yeah. And the picture I have hidden within it is the same picture. I just scaled it down a little bit and put it in it because I thought it would be kind of funny, like Inception in a way. Yeah. Alright, so number 3 then. This is a baguette bouquet, and this is more of a wholesome picture. Also kinda, I don't know, kinda cool to look at, I guess. The backstory here is that while I was making a bouquet for my teacher, and I wanted to be kinda original, so I made it out of baguettes. And yeah, that's pretty much the backstory. The funny part is, though, that I was making the bouquet right before school, so I was slightly late to the celebration, 10 minutes late. Then I gifted the bouquet to the teacher, and she still put me a late mark. So that's kinda, didn't really work. But yeah, let's take a look at the message inside it, and that's the entire B-movie script. 4 times. Yeah, I just had to. Finally, we have number 4, and this is a tree drawing. So I'm not really that good at drawing, I guess you can tell, but this one I'm pretty proud of, and we had to draw that in art class, a year ago, I'd say, so in 8th grade, and we would just go outside to a walk in the nature, find a tree, and draw it with a pencil. And yeah, I think that looked kind of cool, so that's why I put it, yeah. But don't be fooled by the appearance of the drawing, because hidden within it is actually a rickroll. I mean, what kind of secret messages would these be without a rickroll? That's just necessary. Alright, well, that's that. You made it to the end of the video. It's been really fun making this, and yeah. See ya.